Hi, everyone. I'm Jeannie Ralston. Welcome to our info session on Santa Fe. We're so glad you're here. We love this trip. This is one of our favorite trips every year. We do such a variety of things. There's some outdoor where you get really a sense of the place. Then we get into the culture, the Native American culture there. We go up and dive deep into Georgia O'Keeffe, and we eat some good food, drink some good wine, meet some interesting locals. So we're so excited to tell you more about it. So I'm going to share my screen, and we'll talk about how it's going to work. And while I'm fumbling with that, I want to introduce Molly Mitchell and Marcy Mitchell, who are sisters. And Molly lives in Santa Fe, and Marcy is our travel manager, but they're going to work together to make this experience wonderful for you. And can you say hello, both of you, while I'm finding our link?
Hello, I'm Molly. I'm the older sister.
We like to call her the president of the family. That's why
I'm the
she's such a good trip leader.
Marcy's only 18 months younger, but I was not really happy when she was born, but we like each other now.
Oh, that's and how long have you lived in Santa Fe, in and around?
Well, one way or the other for 5 years.
And Marcy, you're in Colorado right now, so you guys are Western girls for sure.
Yeah,
We're definitely mountain. We're a mountain family.
I like
yeah.
that.
And I have a home in Taos, and I lived there for a couple of years, and I do love New Mexico, and I'm really looking forward to this trip. I think it's going to be really fun to hang out with my sister and all of you.
Great. Okay, now I'm going to do oops, I did the wrong thing. I am going to share my screen again. I'm sorry. Here it is. As I said, I am not the best at this, and I'm trying to make it a slideshow. God. Okay, so here we have, this was one of the beginning. We are at George O'Keeffe's Ghost Ranch. This was from our first trip we did in Santa Fe, which was 2021. And it was the first trip we did after COVID. And it was just such a joy to be outside again in this beautiful setting. And here, we've talked to you about the fabulous Mitchell sisters, Molly and Marcy, who are going to be your guides on this. And, they know a lot about Santa Fe and are excited to share it with you. We're going to be staying at the Inn on the Alameda, which I stayed at, oh my God, maybe 30 years ago. I was doing a story for Travel and Leisure about the Santa Fe and some of the native culture in Santa Fe. And I got to stay there and have always wanted to bring the group there. We've stayed at other hotels before, but this is the first year we're going to be here. And I'm so thrilled that we could make that work. So on the first day, we're going to start off with a walking tour and some other just general looking at Santa Fe, getting to know Santa Fe. Molly, do you want to talk about that day, our first day?
Yeah, sure. So I think is it in the evening, Jeannie, that's happening? Or?
We get in the we begin in the late afternoon.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so one of the reasons that I'm so drawn to Santa Fe is because it is a merger of art, of culture, of food, of architecture, and there's really no better way to set the stage than to do all of those things in the first activity. So you'll meet with our guide, Mika Chavez, who is both a history teacher and a chef at the Santa Fe School of Cooking. And she will take you around the plaza area of Santa Fe and point out a lot of somewhat known and maybe little known facts about Santa Fe. And I think she's funny and engaging, and she is very informed about the history of this city. And the city is very old. It dates back hundreds of years. And then we will end up at something called Cross of the Martyrs, where there will be a champagne picnic waiting for you all. And at some point during, right at that, around that time, I don't know much about the art. I saw everyone loved it last year, but you'll have an artist, Jeannie, you may know more about her, up there doing this plein air. And it's a perfect setting for it because you're really at one of the highest points in the city proper and almost have 360-degree views. And I'm hoping we'll time that so that we're there at sunset.
Yeah, we're planning to be there around sunset. And yes,
Okay.
Lisa is a well-known artist, plein air artist. She wins all these awards in New Mexico. And we just love hearing her story and how she sees the light and the colors, and that it's great because it has you paying attention from the very beginning, paying attention to the quality of the light and the way the light changes the color during the day and different times and different shadings. So I think that's a wonderful way to start, so we can look at Santa Fe with those eyes.
I agree.
And there really is something magical about the light there and the sunsets. It's just like every night, it's just knock your socks off.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
beautiful.
And then so the next day is we do it's a full day, and it is just, I just love this day because we go north of Santa Fe into not to Taos, to Abiquiu and the Ghost Ranch area. And one of the things we've done on every one of these trips is at Ghost Ranch, you do what's called an art tour, where there's an art specialist who joins you. You get on the bus with her, like a small mini bus, and she will take you to sites that George O'Keeffe painted, and then show you the actual painting. As you see in this upper left corner, she's showing us a painting that George O'Keeffe made when she lived there. We also see the outside of her house. We learn about her history. Then we end up on that day, we go to George O'Keeffe's house in Abiquiu. So we are learning so much about her. And one of the things that I like to say is that there's no better age boldly icon than George O'Keeffe. I mean, she lived on her own terms. She was producing and embracing life and experiences all the way into, I believe she was in her early 90s when she died. But she's just, and it really, when we did this trip, this George O'Keeffe, the times we've done it, people come away and it's like the feeling of like, man, she really knew how to live. And it really pumps you up to really appreciate what you have in your own life and maybe take some chances or do something different.
Yeah, I find that it's not just her art that's inspiring, but more the way she lived her life and the choices she made. And I'm particularly fascinated by the fact that as a young woman in the early 1900s, she made her way to New Mexico. Her husband did not ever want to go with her. So she took the train first and she'd go by herself. And then eventually she got a car and drove by herself. And he never came to visit her.
Yeah. So, and I think I wrote a story about last year's trip, and I started out by the scene that happened at the George O'Keeffe Museum in Santa Fe, which we go to, but it's not necessarily covered here, but we do go to it. But there's a picture of George O'Keeffe, maybe in the 40s, on the back of a motorcycle. It's a black and white picture, and she's turned around looking with just such joy on her face. And I was so struck by that, and I couldn't get my eyes off it. And then there was a woman about my age in line to get tickets, the same that I was standing in line when I saw it. And she said something to her husband, like, "Oh my gosh, look at that." And she said, "Maybe I should go live in the desert and make art." And he just looked at her like, "What?" And I was like, no, it's something women get. Women get this George O'Keeffe thing. I don't know if I mean, there's something about her that just feels liberating to think about the possibilities of her life and your own. So we'll be talking a lot about her for sure. And so then we'll have lunch in Abiquiu, and that's is, I think I, um,
It's spelled wrong, but that's okay. It's hard.
I just noticed that. I was like, all those capital I's, and I was all of a sudden saw so many of them. Anyway, there's a really nice little cafe at the inn at in Abiquiu, and then we go up to her house, and we learn even more about her. I mean, she had a house in Abiquiu where she would spend the winters, and she would spend summers and so forth at Ghost Ranch, which is only what's it, Molly, like 25 minutes away, if
No,
that?
I think it's more like, it's like 15.
It's like, it's crazy, but she liked that, the divide of being, in at Ghost Ranch, she was just really set among the wild, the so many plateaus and mesas and bluffs and trees and nature. And she did create in her home, she created a lot of beautiful nature around her home, and her home itself inside, you get to go inside, and it's so distinctive. You can just see that this woman curated everything in her clothes, her art, her furniture, her pantry. I mean, you just see a woman living in all ways up to her full potential, which is so fascinating. Okay, and another favorite thing is that we do is, I found this woman on the Awinge, am I saying that right? Awinge, Pueblo, who does cooking classes, and in her own house. So we get to, first of all, we get to go on the Pueblo and see her house and how she lives. She has a vegetable garden behind, and some chickens, and and then some crops behind that. And one of the most distinctive things is her kiva oven in the backyard, which you see here.
They're
And
called Ornos, Jeannie, just to
Orno.
Horno. Yeah.
Okay, Ornos,
Yep.
yes.
Ornos.
Ornos.
Just to be clear, Kiva is something different.
That's right. That's right. But it's kiva shape. Whoops, whoops. But anyway, that's how I think about it. Anyway, sorry. Thank you for correcting me. So it's Ornos, and she talks about, the diet of Native American people there, like what it was through history, and then also how they've, adapted their diets, what's important in their culture now. And so we make empanadas, which is what you see in the lower left. I mean, we make them in her kitchen, and then bring them out to the Orno, where and the Orno is at a certain temperature, and there's a way for them to tell what the temperature is. That's doesn't involve a thermometer. And then also it's like this, just a traditional. And then we make here we made this special meatballs. We also make tamales. So and we just get to know her. Her name is Norma, and she's just so welcoming, and her husband's there, and a lot of her kids. And so we just spend time and relax with someone from such a great, rich culture that it's really important to me in Santa Fe that we talk about the Native American culture. I mean, it's one thing to go and you shop and you see these beautiful things to buy and music and great places to eat, and you talk about the Spanish and so forth, but I want to make sure that the Native Americans don't get overlooked in our trip like this to Santa Fe. So it's really important, and people simply love this because it's so authentic. The food is good. It's you make it yourself, which always makes it even taste better. So this really fun part of the trip. You were on that last year, right, Molly?
That was great.
Yeah, it was fun. And so the next day we spend some time hiking. That's optional. We spend some time in the going around Santa Fe, and then we have a happy hour at a local's home, probably Molly's, but I mean, it just depends on everything, but that's what we're planning. She has a gorgeous house just slightly north of Santa Fe with beautiful views. And the picture you see up on the top right there is all of us from last year's trip. We got to meet with Jen Sincero. We don't know if we're going to meet with her or somebody else, but we'll have some interesting person from Santa Fe to talk about life there and what inspires them about living there. Jen, do you want to, Molly, sorry, do you want to say more about that?
Yeah, I mean, um, Santa Fe draws a lot of creatives, and I've been fortunate to come in contact with them. Jen reinvented herself in middle age when she wrote her best-selling book, You Are a Badass. And I'm hoping she will be able to join us, but also have a very good friend who is an artist, whose works are on Canyon Road in a gallery, and she also did not start selling her art until she was well into her 40s. Another friend who's a native, she's native and she's a producer on big Hollywood movies. And we have our friend Amy, who's a jewelry maker. I think Amy's going to be out of town. Yep. So there's quite a few folks, and I think what stands out to me about all these women is that they didn't find this passion, their artistic passion, until they were much older, which I love, because it just goes to show that don't ever let go of the dream or the passion you have for doing what you love. So we will have, I promise, a lineup of good inspiring women, and it's just really fun. We'll be, again, I'm really into the sunset. We'll get a nice sunset view, and then I think we're going to go to dinner after. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, and I know I'm not sure if we're gonna go back to Orno, but we went there the last year and I loved it. I loved the vibe there, the food, and that's, and it will be a Molly approved dinner, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of great places right there that we can look into.
Yeah, so then we will, so we have another great dinner there. A first dinner is a picnic, not just a picnic, it's a gorgeous picnic made by Mika. That's the first night. The second night, we eat our dinner at at Norma's house on the Pueblo, that Iwinge Pueblo. And then this third night, we'll have dinner at Orno. And the next day we have some options in the morning. It's either 10,000 Waves, which is a fabulous Japanese spa, or Meow Wolf, which is an installation art facility. Immersive art. It'll blow your mind. It's just, so we can do, you can choose from that what you want to do there. And I know that Meow Wolf, it's just, again, and we've been talking, NextTribe has been talking to Barbara Grow, I think that's her name, who was one of the first creative directors of Meow Wolf. And so, she's our age, in the 45 plus age group, and she's just full of ideas. And that's one thing that I got from this trip is what Molly was just saying. There's so many creative people there, and you do get inspired by what they're doing, and going to Meow Wolf, or and just seeing what came from someone's imagination. It just, you can't help but spark yours and just give you new insights. So and then we will have brunch at Bishop's Lodge, which it is just a fabulous place. Tell us more about it. It's one of your favorite places, isn't it, Molly?
Yeah, it is. It's old, and it started off being the home and the property of the first archdiocese. Am I saying that? Archdiocese of,
Right.
Yeah, Diocese of, I'm not Catholic, of Santa Fe. And then became a family summer camp where families came year after year after year. And then eventually it became a resort, and now a really high-end resort. But they did an excellent job of preserving it, of keeping the art, of keeping the original buildings, of keeping the original chapel where Bishop Lamy was his name. You can go in there. There's a confessional, there's an altar, there's all the things. Also has incredible cocktails and views.
And art. I remember the art.
Yeah, the art is really, yeah, a lot of it's original.
Yeah, which is just mind blowing. And then, I just wanted to make a point about the kind of women that go on this trip and the kind of bonds that are created. I mean, it's just a great spot to make new connections, form new relationships and stuff. And we've just had so much fun with the women who've been on these trips. And this is women's groups of different times in Santa Fe. So just fun and friendship is, that's the icing on the cake to all this great cultural and artistic stuff that we're doing, is that you're doing it with women who are like you, who are curious like you are, who are ready to see and explore. So that makes it just extra fun. And then if you have questions, there's Molly and Marcy, but Marcy is our travel manager, so she will be answering any questions you have about the trip. We try to make it as easy as we can for you to get there, and to just help you feel comfortable coming on a trip with maybe you coming with some friends, or maybe you're coming alone. But if you're coming by yourself, you won't feel alone at all, because that's part of the thing with NextTribe is we love to meet new people, and we are happy to bring you in and make you feel like you're traveling with your best girlfriends. So we hope we'll see you soon in Santa Fe, and thanks for